think I'm gonna let a few people to join in.
Oh, good. So you are recording it. Yay.
Yay, I am.
Because I won't be able to come tomorrow, most likely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
I've got
right.
a cooking class.
Yeah, I thought I was not gonna record it, but then several people said, well, I will be able to come, on day 2, but not day 1. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, so, all right, I just record it. Why not?
How was your trip?
It was amazing. It was fun. Too much
Yay.
fun.
Good.
Too much fun. Too much fun.
I loved your Insta. That was really cool with you in
Aw.
the hotel and everything. I liked it.
Thank you. Thank you. Had a lot of nice picture out there. I come back here and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to take picture now? Yeah,
Beautiful city.
it was very beautiful. Truly enjoyed it. Different energy always. Something
yeah.
about New York
Yeah.
City has a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
uplifting, very electrical energy that's just can't find it anywhere else. All right, I have 4 more people sign up, but maybe they're not coming today, but they're coming tomorrow. I don't know. But since I promised this is only going to be 30 minutes, I don't want to, and I know if you like Yenny needs to go to work. So I'm just going to start. Thank you
That's great.
everyone
Yeah.
for joining today. I'm going to pull up my slide. Hopefully I can share that. Though I can't see this side now. Let me see. All right, can everybody see the slide okay?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right, chaos
All
to
right.
clarity, getting out of the head into actions with confidence blueprint. So today we're going to go over the origin of this chaos. I think by now you know the chaos, it's all in our mind, right? And moving to day 2, once we know what the origins of what create the chaos to begin with, we're going to go into the clarity, which for me, the clarity comes with the deeper visions of what we want to get out of life or what your goals are. And I'll show you a few tricks on how to really deepen that and get clarity, because once the chaos and the clarity is not something that separate from each other. And I'll share more about it in the presentation today and tomorrow. But just as a flow, today we're going to specifically talk about the chaos, tomorrow about the clarity itself. And then day 3, we're putting it all together and create the blueprint specifically for each one of you. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about the chaos. It's funny because I was like, okay, what exactly is the meaning of chaos? And according to the Merriam-Webster, it's a state which everything is out of order. When I read that in the beginning, I was like laughing about it because it's like my imagination went to like when like a machine is out of order, right? Nothing works. And sometimes I realize that as well in my own life, especially when I'm going right into just like not trying to, but just that thoughts flooding my mind out of nowhere or out of situation that I just came out from. Like maybe something happened in the conversation that I had, and then things just things are flooding my head, trying to slice and dice the situations. What did I say right? What did I say wrong?
Right.
I should be saying this. I should not be saying that. This person is supposed to be doing that, but that person did not do it. So all of that just explode in the head. And for a good 15, 20, 30 minutes, things seems to be out of order. Who's here experienced something like that? Right?
Every day.
Yes. Yes. And sometimes we just don't realize it's just there until like 30 minutes later or an hour later.
Yeah.
And instead of us getting out of it, we might actually look or do something else to kind of like escape from the head into
Yeah.
something else that then create another chaos. For example, we're then going into the kitchen or like, overeating, for example. Like I have somebody was
Yeah.
giving me an example earlier today, especially when we're overdriven. A lot of us women, even though we're female in the body, but to take care of things, to do things, we become more male because we have to
Yeah.
do things. But same thing also come into our mind, overdriven our mind, trying to think too much of a lot of things without always creating solution. And all of a sudden, we're just becoming overdriven in the masculine energy.
Yeah.
And when that
Yeah.
happened, we hit
Yeah.
that ceiling of like too much of it. And what we do is then we need to decompress and doing something else. Overeating can happen, going into Netflix, watching a lot of things, scrolling into like cat videos on Instagram or TikToks and things like that. And then what come out of it was like, what did I do for the last half an hour or an hour? Or like, what did I just,
Where did the time go, man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're
Mhm.
creating
Yeah.
chaos over chaos over chaos, sometimes
Okay.
without us
Okay.
even realizing.
See that? Okay.
All right. So what chaos can look like? Sometimes we do put too much to-do lists, too much pressures, too much goals, not too much, too many goals, too many granted
Tasks.
because task, right?
Yeah.
Because we thought that doing more will get us better results. And here, right? And
Yep.
and because we overwhelm ourselves, and this is also another thing that some of us put too many strategy. During my trip, it so happened that my friend is a way it's a planner than me. Like she will not want to have time that is not well planned. So for her, a good vacation is one that is well planned. I'm more in the moment kind of planners. Like I see things, I'm like, oh, okay, this sort of kind of like, today I feel like I'm just going to go to the East Manhattan and see what's, explore that area. Or I might, see a magazine article and said, oh, let me explore that. But for her, she's a planner. And sometimes there's a good and bad, of course, on, between a good, a planner and in the moment planner, right? But sometimes we do also tend to plan too much details in what we want to get or go to, that sometimes without the flexibility, we get so hung up on the details itself. Some people call it perfectionism. Some people say it OCD, right? Because like it or not, sometimes with plans, there will be variables that we can't control. And that's what also causes a lot of chaos, is that when things don't go our plan, that everything is becoming an over thoughts in our head. And that put also a burden in our psyche and adding to stress. And what happened after the stress and overthinking, we also starting to lose energy. We got tired. And when we're tired, we postpone things, which become a procrastination, right? So these are a few symptoms of overthinking. And feel free to put in the chat what, any of this that, that are shown up in your life right now. Maybe you can't stop worrying, or you worry about things that you have no control over, like rain is coming. It's funny because one of the things that happened in our trip, we were going to the post office at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We came out of it at 5:30, but 5:30, like right now, it's 6 p.m., but you still see the sun. But when we came out at 5:30, it was overcast. And we're in Soho, so it's about 30 minutes from our hotel. And my friend was freaking out because she was like, oh my God, rain is coming. And then she checked the phone and she said, rain is coming at exactly 30 minutes. And I thought to myself, can anyone actually predict that a rain is going to come
No.
in 30 minutes? But she's so hung up on it that's like, we have to make it to the hotel in 30 minutes. Otherwise, we're going to be drenched in rain. And
So
then during the trip back to the hotel, she said, how did we miss this? How did we not check the weather and miss that we're going to have rain? And funny enough, 15 minutes walking, the rain started to drop. So we pull aside to a small cafe and I ordered a lift. And when the Lyft driver came and we got into the car so that we can go back to the hotel, my friend said, oh my God, I can't believe that's raining today. And the taxi driver said, well, this is New York. Nobody can predict when the rain's gonna come. At that moment, I was like, right, okay. So who knows when the rain's gonna come, right? Sometimes there's just things that we can't control. So, but we do worry about these little things. We worry about what happened today or yesterday in the future, and we blame ourselves for things that we can't control. So we constantly remind ourselves with mistake, reliving embarrassing moments. I'm gonna check the chat box. Somebody sent me something. Okay, criticizing or hard on yourself, doubting my own ability.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And worrying about catastrophic predictions, what are the worst case scenario, second guessing every decision you make, think about things that you could differently, recalling conversation with people, like I mentioned earlier, wish you had or had not said, dwell in, what happened in the past, and constantly worrying about the future, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I seem to lose my, there you go. And all of this is creating what I call analysis paralysis, right? Because the more you think about a problem, the worse you feel. And the worse that you feel, the harder it is to take positive action because the emotions already run through you. And I notice this even with myself sometimes, especially I'm noticing this more on the feminine. We got a lot of ideas. We overthink on the ideas because well, if I do this, then this might happen. If I don't do that, that will happen. And then we become just overwhelmed with the things that we thought, or we overwhelm ourselves with the strategy, right? There's a good strategy, but there's, again, like the strategy with too much details that finally, after you finish with all the details, you're like, I don't feel like doing it. And when that happens and emotion comes, and most of the time we follow the emotion and the emotion will just then deplete us. And what happened next? We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And when we don't do it, instead of lifting ourselves up, sometimes the emotion come in even greater that makes us feel even more lower than before. And it makes us feel like we're trapped. And when we're trapped, the more that we're not taking actions, the worse we feel. So it's kind of like chicken and eggs, right? What do we do first? We just take actions, strategy, not, or should we get rid of the emotions and things like that? But all comes down to what we really put in our thoughts. Because the more that our mind can have some flexibilities, the better that we can actually go with the flow of taking actions. Because at the end of the day, when we don't take actions, when we stop our flow, and that's one thing about being female, we need to be in the flow. And when we're not in the flow, we feel like things are not moving, and we're not moving, it's easy for us to then go deep into the emotion of feeling stuck. That makes any sense? Good. All right. And then after that, things that we can't do, it's hard for us to achieve our goals. Again, that procrastinations, lots of idea, but little gets done. There are words of promises. Between the words of promises and actions are incongruent. Lack of accomplishment, depletion of energy. I'm hearing a lot of people say, oh my God, time goes so fast. I haven't done things that I said I was going to do, me included. I'm not not far from this. Sometimes I go into this as well. There's less times and energy to do things that we really, really want because we're overthinking things too much on the things that maybe even burden us, right? The things that we should not be doing, but we push ourselves to do it. And one thing that I also like to warn is that when we overthink things that beyond our control, that we worry so much the catastrophe that things gonna happen. The more the negative predictions that we put out there, sometimes it becomes self-fulfilling prophecies, right? I'm hearing a lot of people, oh, I'm never gonna lose that 10 pounds. Well, you're never gonna lose that 10 pounds. They kept saying it. I had somebody yesterday tells me, well, I hope you have a good trip. There's not going to be a crying baby sitting next to you. I'm like, yeah, I definitely do not want a crying baby sitting next to me, but thank you so much for, praying that there will be a crying baby sitting next to me. I was like, well, that just does not equate in my head. But things like that, sometimes we say it maybe so lightly just because we're so used to say things like that. And we also need to pay attention because the words that we say, it's like a mantra. We say it over and over and over. It will become our life. It will become our reality. So if you do notice that there are words that you keep repeating out of, sometimes it's just a joke, right? But if you keep saying it, it reprograms your mind. It programs your mind to take it as real. So it could turn out to be self-fulfilling prophecy. All right. Okay. So if a storm is coming, you can think or overthink about it. But another way to do it that when a storm is coming is that you can get ready for a storm. So instead of just thinking about it, you get ready for it. All right. Where are we? Hey, my computer is just not giving me a good time today. Now, since we're hitting the middle mark of today's workshop, I promise it's going to be 30 minutes, so I'm delivering it in 30 minutes. Think of a situation right now in your life that makes you feel stuck. And stuck can mean different things, different way for each one of you. Stuck can mean that you're feeling that you're losing a freedom or power to do more joyful and meaningful things. Or feeling stuck could mean that you don't feel the love or not feeling love, that you're not in a flow or in a flow of abundance. So right now, just take maybe about 2-3 minutes. If you have a piece of paper and pen, write down a situation in your life that makes you feel stuck. And we're going to look at what the stories or what are the thoughts behind this situation that maybe create that chaos that keeps you feeling that you're not moving forward, or you losing freedom, or you're losing power, that you're not having joy or meaningful things in your life, or not having the abundance that you deserve to have in your life right now. So I'm giving you 2 minutes. And when you're done, feel free to share that in the comment. Comment or the chat. 30 seconds. You all done? Oh. I can't speak it out loud. Voice is scary, but this divorcing is my situation. Okay. All right. Okay. So the situation is you're divorced, right, Ali? Okay. So next question is, oh God, Mercury retrograde really is giving me a pain in the butt on the arrow right now. Oops. Okay. Next question. What stories do you have around the situation that keeps you feeling stuck that you wrote before? So what stories that keep playing in your mind? Something that goes along, right? Well, maybe this is going to be disaster. Like this divorce is going to be a pain in the butt. We're going to be fighting over the little things. Or if there's something about your work, well, maybe no one's gonna want to buy my product, or no one's gonna like my offer, or I will never get chosen for doing whatever it is that you want to do, or other stories that keep playing in behind the scenes, that whenever the situation come up, instead of you taking actions toward that or feeling good about like, oh, this is exactly what I want, the stories or the chaos come up and flood your mind. Give you about 1 minute. And feel free to write it down in the chat. Or since this is a small group, if you want to turn on your speaker or not speaker, you can unmute yourself and share your thing.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Abby.
Okay, so currently I'm really wanting to get into some local yoga studios to give my sound baths. I mean, apart from the yoga house where, mainly there, it's just doing the big workshops. That's just what they're doing right now. So,
Mhm.
I did one, as you know, and I'll probably do another one soon. But I would really like to get into some local studios to do them here. And then I've just, I've emailed a few, I've called and left messages for a few, but I just haven't gotten any response. So I'm not quite sure what I need to do different,
Mhm.
to approach them. So yeah, I would, because right now I'm driving, to the west side to 2 different studios, and which is great, and I really like, it's great. It's been great, but I would like to do something more local too.
Yeah. So what's the stories around the situation?
The story is that, I'm not quite sure how to approach it here because, I kind of got frustrated, I guess, from the preliminary attempts to contact a few of the studios. I did like a handful, like 5 or 6,
Mhm.
and so and I didn't really get a result, so I don't know
Yeah.
to do different.
Yeah. Yeah. And we all have that, right? We tried something, it didn't work out. And here's my and we're like, how come they're not, answering me? What else am I supposed to do? I already put so much to it. And this is and forgive me, but I have to say this. When I was doing real estate, okay, I had to compete with maybe 50 other agents in one office. And there are about maybe, let's say 100 houses in Pasadena, right? And we all was tasked to do door knocking. This is, 10 years ago, and they still do door knocking before they start to have rules where you can't door knock anymore. Now, here I am as a green, real estate agent who used to have a corporate office. I knocked for 5 doors and I complained for a week. While this 80 years old agents will be knocking on the door every day, every single day, at least 10s in one row, 10 houses in a row. And they will get so many things from like, nobody's going to open the door, the dogs coming out and barking at them, people shouting out, don't come back anymore, and things like that. 80 years old, doing it every day, 10s, per day, each of the row. They do it every day. Me, 5 complaint a week, quit the real estate thing after 5 years. So I'm not saying that, I'm not judging, but we did have that. Like, we got rejections and we feel like, but I've tried so hard already. How come I didn't get it? And my questions to you is, how many yoga studios in Pasadena, right? Or like within the vicinity? Let's map that. Let's see how many are there. And if right now sending an email and calling didn't work, what other ways? Because we can talk millions. But again, if our minds are already beaten because we feel like I've already done so hard and it's not working, then it's not going to work. But then again, there's this 80 years old lady who will door knock every day, 10 a day. That's her entire career. That's why they're selling multi-million-dollar homes. And of course, the green old bee, right? 5, and I'm like complaining for the whole week, and I quit after 5 years. So I hope that answered your question.
Well, I did go to, 2 of them in person, right?
Yeah.
And I got the one gig at the yoga house.
Yeah.
Right. So I did a demo at the one in San Marino, but they just still haven't responded, and I've reached out a few times. I don't want to be pushy, so I've reached out, given them some time, and they're just saying, well, we've got our house sound bath person, and it's like,
Yeah. And
yeah, I'm trying to pitch to them that that's wonderful, you've got this person, but what you might like to introduce is more sound bath teachers, just like you don't have just one yoga teacher teaching classes, you have a variety of teachers, variety of classes, so you could also have a variety of sound bath experiences to offer your clients, your students. So, I mean, they're chewing on it, but they're not acting on it.
Yeah. And you cannot, that's great. I really love the way that you position yourself. Like, you can have other sound bath teachers, just like you have yoga teachers. And you also say, hey, in case your sound bath teacher is sick, here's my card, because I can substitute.
Right. That's good. Okay.
Right.
I will reach back out and try some new places.
Yes. And a phone number, because especially with sound healing, right? You have to see, like, energy wise, can I, as a studio owner, sometimes you also want to say, oh, will this person have the energy that's the same with my studio? So face to face, especially for your field, is a must. So I definitely encourage you to door knock.
Okay. All right, my my dear. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And always say, yeah, I'm here, I'm available as a substitute in case, I mean, especially right now, pretty sure that there are a lot of sound healers in the area. And yeah, maybe they already have a set of sound healers in their lineup, but you can always substitute in case somebody is not, coming, somebody's going on holidays, sick leave, pregnancy, or whatever life
That's
happened.
what I'm doing on the west side. I'm subbing all over the
Exactly.
2-3 times a week.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
And then also just throw in like, okay, if I can't be in your rotation, can I do a workshop? Can I do a one-off that,
Yeah.
you pay for the studio time? Usually they run like about what, 25 to 40 an hour, and you invite your own students. You can also do that. Then you
Yeah.
also shows the powers that you're bringing to the studio owners that, hey, I'm actually bringing you more clients or more
Exactly.
exposure to the area.
Well, yeah, like I had 40 people at the event I did at the yoga house. So that was
Exactly.
to their
Exactly.
benefit too.
Exactly. 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 Well done. Yay, Abby. Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else has something that would like some coaching today?
I think I have a question. Like, I agree with you. Like, the statement or the mantra that we have in our mind. Sometimes it's like it will come true. So we have to turn it into like a positive things instead of the negative part. However, sometimes when it pop up. And it's like the negative side or the worry, over worry
Yes.
things that probably not will happen. What's the trick to turn it, like how to change it? Because sometimes we worry over things that's uh, based on fact, like based on uh, regular analysis that we are doing it. Probably it's not true, but we have several fact that support us into that negative mantra or negative statement. Sometimes uh, theoretically I know like we shouldn't think the negative side, but when it pop up, it's kind of hard for me to change it to like example, like why we didn't calculate the rain will come, for example. But sometimes that's also happened to me, and it's like it's really hard for me to switch or to change the point of view to change it to positive.
Okay. So there is good overthinkings. There's the bad overthinkings. Everything is a good or bad, right? A good overthink or the bad overthink, for example, is the rain comes, right? And like, how did I not just, hopefully my friend will not watch it because she might hate me after this. I was like, how did I not see this? How can we not check the weather channel today and not see that the rain is going to come? By then, what can we do, right? And just like what the driver said, it's really, the weather in New York is unpredictable, right? And there are things that can be unpredictable in life too. I mean, we all take risk in life in this unpredictability. As we step out of the door, I mean, that tree in front of my house can literally fall to my head. Can then blame myself for not seeing 5 minutes or an hour before that tree is going to fall on my head? I can't, right? I mean, the tree is going to fall, the tree is going to fall. Will there be sign? Maybe, but I take a risk to just walk under the tree, and there's a chance I don't see everything. So that's uncontrolled things. However, right, of course, we have the brain to create solutions. We have the brains to find out and figure out solutions. So if you have a tendency to overthink things or worrying about things that may or may not be under your control, the best way to do it is you start, you look at the thoughts and say, okay, what can I create solutions of? Like, for example, the rain. If the rain will bother you, then the solution, if it's already on the street, right? Oh, rain's coming. Okay, instead of going into the blaming or worrying like, oh my God, how did I not see this? What's the solution that can come out of? Okay, I may just have to, get into that Starbucks and wait for the rain. Or I get to the Starbucks, call the Uber or Lyft. So then, I don't have to be in the rain as I need to go to my, to the next place. Or if you know that, this is September, understandably during, this kind of transitional weather, common sense, we need to start carrying some umbrellas, especially in New York, because we know there's a chance of raining. So you prevent things prevent things from getting caught in the middle of things that you're not comfortable to be in, if that makes sense, right? In the case of rain, if you don't like to get into the rain, always carry an umbrella with you at all times. So that's overthinking or worrying that creates solutions. That's a good one. But if it's just going to be an overthinking that then without any solutions, and you're just kind of like, see, that's you never prepare, or you don't check on things, or blah 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 blah, then there's no solutions, and you're gonna get yourself, it's almost kind of like putting a lot of weight in your own backpack or in your purse, right? Why do you want to carry that all the time? Instead, take it out and see it. Okay, what can I create solution out of? And, twist it, change it, make it something. That makes sense?
Yes.
Is that helpful?
Thank you. Very.
Okay, good. All right, anyone else? Okay.
Just a comment. I mean, I would think that more the difference would be the overthinking is the negative thing that gets you into trouble. And the other thing would be problem solving, as opposed to saying good overthinking. I don't think any overthinking is good. Because then you're not really overthinking, you're just thinking about solutions, which is a good thing.
I like that too. Yeah. Still using the thing, but sometimes, one is problem solving, one is just that hamster wheel that you do inside of your head.
And if the solution we try to implement and it's still not solving the problem, then required us to be more creative to find another solution, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're feeling stuck, like, okay, we're doing this already, we're doing that already, like A, B, C, but then it's just like there. So we won't go anywhere, right? Like if you're doing the same thing over and over again. So
doing one thing over and over again and expecting this, different results is insanity.
Impossible.
I think what is that? Einstein said that or something like that, right? Somebody like that. So we have the brain to think of different ways of doing things. That's why you have to look at the situations and what the story is behind it. Like you said, right? We've tried this, we tried that, but it's not going anywhere. But is it really true? Can there be other perspective? Can there be another way of looking at this? Sorry, I cut you off, Ivy. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to add that, in the example that you had about the rain, and being stuck out, in town or whatever, just that going back to that whole concept of being in the here and now, in the present moment. Think of that, place yourself there, not worrying about the ifs and the what ifs and all that. Do what you can do right now. And like you said, going into the Starbucks, calling the Lyft, your Uber. That's dealing with the here and now. And that's what's going to get you through rather than getting all worried and worked up about it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Ali, go ahead.
I wanted to say something weather related as well. Here on the Oregon coast, we never know. I mean, bright sun all the way to snow. You don't know. So you either try and prepare for everything, or you just realize that you might get stuck and get drenched. And the best thing about that is you have a dryer at home. You can take off your clothes and dry them. So what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
Just
trying
enjoy.
to frame everything like that.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
this is a very confusing time. So
It is.
this is
It
helping.
is.
It is. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. Love it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Always questions your own thoughts. What's the big
Mm.
deals? What can I create out of this? Is there another solutions? And just because sometimes the like that hamster wheels, when you see the wheels, right? We just have to like, okay, let's twist this so that we can see what else can. So it's not just circling. But to do
Going
that,
around.
then you have to be very vigilant about asking the question, stopping the wheel and break it apart. Because otherwise, then yeah, the wheel's gonna just keep turning and turning, and you're like, something's supposed to work here, something's supposed to work here, but nothing's gonna work until you stop
Mm.
it and break it apart. So thank you everyone for your comments. I really love that. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody else needs a coaching? I know we're going over time. There goes 30 minutes for me. And it goes 45. But I love it. Thank you all for playing in this so that we all get feedbacks.
I learned a lot in this
Yeah,
short session.
I hope more people show up tomorrow. This is a lot of fun. I like
Okay.
this setting.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Okay. So tomorrow, so today,
Mhm.
anything else that show up, what are the stories? What can you see now that I've given you the tools, right? What can you see that keeps playing, that's stopping me from just continuing doing? What blocks
Mhm.
myself?
Okay.
What hinder me from, the stories that I give myself, or the statement that I said, well, it can't be done because ... that kind of keep you stuck from seeing what other
Mhm.
ways that we can
Over
do
here.
it. Exactly. Because like
Yeah.
Abby and Ali said, right? We're all capable beings, but we don't trust and believe ourselves to be capable because we thought that's just the small thing that we can do. But at any moment, we have the ability to find solutions. That's our old geniuses. We always can figure something out if we allow ourselves to free ourselves from this chaos and come back to the present moment. And we're going to go deeper on that tomorrow. All righty.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yay.
Thank you so
Thank you all
much.
for joining.
you.
I'll see you
All right.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Manana.
Bye.
Bye.
See you Friday.
All right. See you Friday.